Hello everyone, my name is Avu and in this video we'll be taking a look at the OpenMandriva operating system. It's a gnu+linux distribution and this is going to be a sort of a review of it. Right, so apparently this Brian Lunduk character made some video about this operating system and then some other people started making some noise and it became like this new thing that like people are taking a look at, and I decided that I'm gonna join in. And specifically what is of interest is indeed what was said about it by the other people, that they don't necessarily take like a political stance on all the issues like other distributions of gnu+linux might. So some things like the cultural Marxism and the likes, if those sorts of views are present in the communities who develop the operating systems, it might actually be difficult to like be a part of those communities and contribute to the projects. Now, I have made a separate speech earlier about should you care about the politics of the people who make the software you use, and in that speech I said no, but that was specifically with the assumption that you as a user of software, do you as a user have to care about the politics? But that does not necessarily address the question of, well, what if you are a developer yourself and you wish to participate in the community and develop the operating system? Now that's different, because now that actually involves you going there and conversing with those people and discussing the operating system and actually developing it. So then the issue of those political questions and such becomes actually relevant. And thus we arrive to the OpenMandriva project. So yeah, right. So that's basically like the introduction for what brought this on. Now, let's just get into it. I will be making a sort of a review of this. Right, it's asking me about some KDE wallet things. I don't know what this is. Let's see what this does. I'm trying to open the Chromium web browser, but it's going on about some KDE wallet nonsense. What am I supposed to do with this? I don't know what KDE wallet is. I don't use KDE like in general. I know it launched. Well, I don't know what this is. Blowfish. I'm not gonna deal with this. Can I just cancel this? Well, I don't know what that thing is. Who cares? Anyway, yeah, right. As you can see, this is an ungoogled Chromium. And yeah, I will right away give massive points for OpenMandriva to use the ungoogled Chromium specifically as the web browser. Now, I've seen some distributions that go as far as to use Google Chrome. Oof. Looking at you, quote, Linux Lite, unquote. Yeah, that distro sucks. For that reason alone, the fact that they use the Google Chrome, the proprietary variant of Chromium, as their web browser by default, ay, that's bad. So yeah, clearly it can be done. Ungoogled Chromium can be packaged as the default web browser of the distribution, and I respect that. That is very good. So massive points for that already. So yeah, that's nice. Now, I personally wouldn't prefer a Chromium web browser myself. I would rather choose something Firefox based, or maybe even GNOME Web or something like that, or even Conqueror. So those are like better alternative web browsers, because Google is still like the main entity behind Chromium. Even if it's ungoogled, it's still made by Google, of course, so they still have the control over the web browser in that sense. So I would still prefer something else, but it's still ungoogled Chromium, so I will give them points for that. That's pretty good. Anyway, alright, so OpenMandriva. Let's see what it has. I did take a quick look at this earlier already, but not that big of a look. Right, so I'm gonna run something like sudo dnf update or something, but actually, no, first it's probably better to go to the control center place, because this actually has this really nice control center here. Software. this repo picker, I will go here first. This is always something to take note of in a gnu+linux distribution, as I recommend them to people specifically for the reason of software freedom. And so let's explain the repositories. Basically, well, they are pretty well explained here already, so I'm only going to point out some facts about them. Restricted software, I would always recommend you enable this, because as it says here, restricted contains packages that are free, but encumbered with patents and other nonsense, which basically just means that it is effectively free libre software. There may be some legal issues, like if you are some company using these, but like as an individual user, always enable like the equivalent of the restricted thing, because so long as it's free libre software, then like yeah, sure, like I could see how it makes sense to like avoid it in some use cases, but like as a general user, like if you're just installing this like on your home computer, absolutely always include this repository. There's really no reason not to. And also on this distribution, OpenMandriva, they have this interesting case of the unsupported packages, which is basically like, it's like this extended repository of more software, but it's like unofficial in some sense, where like it's kind of like this, well, I don't know, I guess I could give the example of the Mindtest game engine, or as it has now been renamed, Luanti. However, it is still called Mindtest in repositories in this distribution, so that's an example of something like that's unsupported. So it's not in the main repository, but it is in the unsupported repository. It's effectively just like an extended repository. It talks about occasional crashes, but I don't know what that's about. Like, is it like low quality supported or whatever? I don't know. Anyway, I would enable both of these. Definitely avoid this one, because piss off non-free software. No proprietary software here. And also, I will also give points. I appreciate the fact that they use the terminology non-free and such, and they specifically talk about free libre software as in like free software here, basically. Because like, even if there's like some clarification here, I do appreciate the fact that like they are using like the free as in like the primary, free as in freedom as like the primary terminology here. So they are not subscribing to the whole quote open source unquote movement in to such an extent. So I do appreciate the fact that like it's non-free instead of something like closed source. Yeah, piss off closed source nonsense. Then there's these things. I don't recommend any of these. There's really no reason to. Most of this is just proprietary nonsense, so just don't click on any of these. Yeah, just avoid all that stuff. Then okay. Now an interesting thing about that is that it doesn't apparently ask for any root password, but it still works, seemingly so. So now go to here. Now I do sudo dnf update. It now pulls from all of the repositories that I just enabled. No, and by the way, this is the rock variant. The OpenMandriva recently started this rolling release branch. They call it Roam. I don't really know if that's something that I would recommend using yet, because it's so new. Whereas something like comparing it to something like Arcs or even OpenSUSE Tumbleweed, they've been around for such a long time. They have like this established presence in the gnu+linux world. So I'm not so sure if I would recommend a new rolling release. Like, it was apparently only like 2023 or something like that when they released that Roam thing. So it's pretending like Roam. So that's like a rolling release thing. I don't necessarily recommend that yet, but like you can do that if you are interested in that sort of thing. For the time being, I would still say that OpenSUSE Tumbleweed is the best rolling release, at least as far as the user's point of view goes. Now again, commenting on the political issues, the OpenSUSE has recently, unfortunately, made a kind of a fool of themselves with all the political nonsense they've been getting into, talking about all the nonsense. So yeah, that's also something unfortunate. So yeah, in any case, so if that's something that you're interested in, then OpenMandriva might be something that you might want to take a look at, because a lot of these distributions are maintained by projects that are like, they're just going on with the latest things with like all the all the political nonsense. So let's see. I'll demonstrate the mine test because like that. Now this is from the unofficial repository, whatever it was called. One interesting thing about this, to notice that they apparently include the version number here. That's interesting. In the actual package name. I wonder how that works when like things are updated. Does it like install the newer version, as in like increasing like the number here or something like that? No, I don't know if that's an actual version of Mindtest, but like if a new version of Mindtest were to come out for this distribution, like would it like be packaged like that? Would there like be the possibility of having like two versions of the package installed on the system? Who knows? Whatever. That's something that one would kind of get to understand and know about as they use it. I'm really just taking a look at this like for the first time. Now this is not literally the first time I'm using this distribution. I took a look at it yesterday, but now I'm making this video. Anyway, so like I'm just demonstrating this to like demonstrate something, I guess. Always put those settings like that on low-end systems like this. Let's see what kind of FPS I might get. Well, that's actually pretty high. Just for demonstration purposes. Like yeah, like it's working, I guess. Like yeah, it's an operating system. So yeah, it can play the games and all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess. All kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a distribution. I might take a look at some other stuff too, of course. Yeah, right. Oh yes, and also of course the website. Again, it's talking about this wallet thing. I don't know what this is. What am I supposed to do with this? It didn't work. What are you talking about? I don't care. What am I supposed to do with this? I can't click on anything. Note, this shows only the ultimate level. What are you talking about? I have no clue what this is. KDE. Well, it talks about GPG, but I have no clue what, like, how I'm supposed to use this KDE wallet thing. I don't know. It's weird. Go away. Right, so the website. So OpenMandriva. Where am I now? What kind of thing that? What is it trying to do? What is there some virus? Your computer has virus. What is this? XDG open. What is it trying to do? What on earth is going on now? Do I have to like actually like enter a website, like actual DNS? Like yeah, apparently I can't use it as a search. Ah, maybe the search is. Wait, no, it does say something about. It does say Google search. Well, they're still using Google search by default. That's unfortunate. Let's go disable that. How did the Chromium settings work again? I haven't used Chromium in such a long while. Search engine, Google. Whatever dot better. Alright, I don't know what was on with the Google search nonsense. That's some weird stuff. Anyway, that works better now. So let's see. OpenMandriva. What is this nonsense? Let's see. Let's just go to Wikipedia. One can always get the link from Wikipedia. Right. There's some basic information about it here. Oh yeah, right. Speaking of like OpenMandriva here as like being an operating system and all that I'm reviewing, it obviously, as the name suggests, it's a descendant of the Mandriva operating system, which was also like a thing, but then it like some company behind it went out of business or something. Actually, I don't remember anymore what happened. Who cares? I guess it talks about. Yeah, I have no clue what happened with that. I don't care. Anyway, the Mandriva distribution, it disappeared, and then a couple descendants, a few of them, came from it, and OpenMandriva is one of them. I have in the past made a recommendations list with 3 recommendations, some speech recording where I recommended some intermediate user distributions, and one of those recommendations was one called Mageia. So Mageia distribution is also a continuation from the same Mandriva. So basically, like, if you think of Mandriva as being like the parent, then like Mageia and OpenMandriva are like siblings. So like that's an interesting way to look at it, I guess. So like that's like a close relative. They both are like similar because they both descend from the same like operating system. Like they are both descendants of the same Mandriva system. Also, another neat note about Mageia is that like they call themselves gnu+linux, which is pretty good, which Mandriva also does some of the time. Let's see. It wasn't in the front page, I think, but maybe in the one of these links they had gnu+linux mentioned. Wait, I don't think it was here. No, it was somewhere else. I will take note of this because it matters. They do call it quote Linux unquote several times, but somewhere they mentioned it. I saw them write it somewhere. Forum. What is this nonsense? This can't be it. No, I don't know what this is. Who cares? In any case, it of course is a gnu+linux distribution. Well, whatever. There are 2 variants, so there's the rock. So this is like a point release. So they release the new version once in a while. These are stupid menus. I had trouble having these render properly when I had like this Libre.js extension for Firefox in use, and it like these, like, look at these stupid graphical things. Like, what are you doing with these things? These didn't work properly, and I had a really hard time downloading this operating system because it refused to function. Look at this stupid graphical effects. I do not like this. I will take point for this. This is a stupid thing, very stupid. I do not at all appreciate like these sorts of ridiculous nonsense websites where like there is like, what is this? Why can't you just have this link? Like, this the link. Why can't you just have the link? Like, just have an HTML page. Have a HTML page where there's like a link to a file. Why does there have to be this bizarre drop-down menu that moves around and all this graphical nonsense? No. Piss off with this nonsense. Like, this is a big pain. It didn't even work on my web browser because I have the... Let's promote it. This thing. Libre.js. It unfortunately does not work with Chromium. It's for Firefox, but yeah, this is what I use. I don't know if this is the reason, but I assume it is most likely the reason it didn't work. This website, but yeah, like, good luck trying to use like a web browser that doesn't have like the most up-to-date modern stupid rendering. Like, look at this stupid joke. Like, are you serious? What is this? Why do you have this thing here? That's a joke. This should be some April Fool's thing that like, oh, look at the operating system downloads are stupid like this. Like, that's a joke. That's not at all good. That's ridiculous. Massive minus points for that. Yeah, that's nonsense. Some random brands. Or are these like the sponsors or something? Who cares? Let's see. Right, it was talking about the releases, I guess. There's some stuff, some server stuff or whatever. I don't really care about those things. So like, this is the rolling release one that like, I guess they recommended like for like individual users, like home use case or whatever. That's the home building in that icon. But does it redirect me? Right, so now I'm here. Okay. So they have the Plasma Slim version of blah blah blah. Yeah. So like I have the slim version, I don't have the full version with all the other stuff because I don't think it's necessary. Like the user can install whatever they want, so yeah, I probably would recommend using the slim version. It's a smaller file size because this was like 2 gigabytes and this was like 3 or something like that. So it's massive, way bigger. Actually, no, I was using the rock version, so it might be different for the rolling release, I don't know. But yeah, this was like 3 gigabytes and this was like 2 gigabytes. So use the slim version, unless you're like some new user who doesn't know how to install software for some reason, then yeah, anyway. About this stuff, but mention something about, no, it's just, it goes element, okay, yeah, it's just some, so this is like the matrix thing, yeah, okay. Right, so I don't think there's anything else to look at in the website. Now this is the 5.0 release. One thing I actually don't recall if I took a look at is how long the releases were alive. I think they were for a pretty long time. Here's the graph. So let's see. It's 1 month after the next release, and they apparently released like a new version. I wonder if it means by new release, next release, like the higher number or just the smaller number, because like would all of the 4 point something versions be supported at the same time until 1 month after 5.0, or does each new release mandate the updating to a next version? No, I assume that all of the 4 ones would be running at the same time supported, and then until the 5.0 comes out, then all of these go auto support at the same time. Or wait, no, it says here end of life date. Wait, no, I was mistaken. No, you do have to keep updating all the time. From 4.0 to 4.1, then update from 4.1 to 4.2, then 4.2 to 4.3. Yeah, that's kind of annoying, where you have to keep updating all the time. The same problem is with the Mageia distribution I also mentioned in this video earlier. Yeah, that's really annoying in my opinion, where there's this constant need to update to the newest version. That's really annoying, I don't like that at all. But that's just something that you're gonna have to deal with. But I mean, it kind of like defeats the purpose in my opinion, where like, what's the point of having like a point release if it can't be used for years and years? Because like, if you're gonna have to update it all the time anyway, then like, it is kind of an effectively rolling release, except you just have to kind of update it in big batches. So like, it's like a rolling release, but you just update it every year. So like, that's how that works then. Yeah. So like, if every year you update your Arc system, like hypothetically, then like that's what's going on with these sorts of distributions that update themselves every year and they only get supported for a few moments. I don't like that, because like take something like Debian for instance, where like I just use it for years and years, install the distribution, and then just keep using it until it runs out of support, end of life. So yeah, that's one thing that I don't like about lots of gnu+linux distros in general. Like, that's one of the reasons why Debian is my favorite, because I can just install it and then just be done with it, and I don't have to bother with it in like for several years to come. So that's, I guess, some use case specific personal preference things, but it's still important to be aware of when talking about gnu+linux distributions, the release cycles and how they work. It is one of, if not like the most important thing about the distribution, in like using the distribution and choosing the distribution. For like, if you are choosing the distribution, what distribution to go for, you have to be aware of how they do their updates. Yeah, and also the thing with these, also there's the disadvantage, because like, how do you update from the next version, from the previous one to the next one? Like, if there's a tool that updates, I don't necessarily recommend those be used in the first place. I would just recommend using a fresh install every time. Like, every time you update the operating system, just do a fresh install. And I mean like a version update. And it's kind of annoying to have to reinstall the operating system every year. I guess it kind of makes it impractical. At this point you just need to have the kind of a tool that automatically updates it from one version to another. So automatic tool those tool things that update you from one version to another, like, yeah. I guess you would need to do that for like a few years, and then do a fresh install once in a while. Okay, I guess that's how I would do it if I used this distribution. Now that is if you choose to go with the point release. Of course there was also the rolling release. That's pretty new. But again, if it's too new, well, like it was just released, was it said here when it was released? Rolling release. Yeah, there, since 2023. So, is this something that like has like trust that I can put in as a user? Can I trust this new thing that just appeared? Who's to say that it won't disappear tomorrow because it just appeared? Where like something like Arcs has been around forever. And OpenSUSE Tumbleweed has been around for a long time. So can I trust something that just showed up yesterday? Now of course there will be some initial group of people who join in the first place, but those sorts of people are the ones who would be like developing the software or whatever, I imagine, for the most part. So I'm not sure if I would recommend something like this in general as of now. Perhaps like after a few years as it gets more of an established presence in the gnu+linux world, then I might recommend something like the Rome version of this, unless you just like to experiment with things and you just want to join in and are not necessarily afraid of having to switch if they do decide to pull that one day. I wouldn't know if they did that because it just appeared. So yeah, if you wanted a rolling release, I would recommend going for something like Arcs or OpenSUSE Tumbleweed, depending on whichever is applicable to your use case. Yeah, as it says here, the rolling release is a rolling release. It doesn't have an end of life. Yeah, anyway, enough of this nonsense. Let's go look at some basic software selections that it has by default. It doesn't have much because I selected the slim version, like I mentioned. Mine I just installed myself. Yeah, some basic stuff. Very minimal. Yeah, there's like some system stuff, file manager. Yeah, it has the bare minimum, the basic essentials, the archiving tools and the stupid menu. Let's see. There was a way to make this happen. Is this it? There was a way to make this different, this menu thing. I don't use KDE in general, like I am not a KDE user, I don't know how this all works. But there was a way to do this. Let's see, widgets, edit mode, no. Alternatives, what alternatives? Oh yes, this is it. Would this be better? That looked better, I guess. Switch. It's probably better. In any case, yeah, the bare essentials in the slim version, it doesn't come with any other nonsense. Now that's preferable because like there's like unless you're like a very new user who doesn't really know anything about computers and the availability of software scares you because there's too much options available and you don't know which office software to install and all that stuff. If that scares you because you're a new user, then something like the non-slim version might be better if it comes with like the software, office software and the likes, but like in general, like you could just install that from the repository, so the slim version is preferred. I would generally recommend that probably. I probably wouldn't recommend this distribution to the absolute newest users anyway. For that, there is always the Linux Mint and the Pop OS and Zorin OS and such. Those are like for the absolute newest users. Of the two of them, like two of them are better. Pop OS and Linux Mint. Those are the options. So yeah, let's go back to the control thing. Control center. It's always interesting to take a look at software like this. Find. Yeah, speaking of DNF, as it says here, I install something, so like it isn't installed already. Well, that's weird. Anyway, so yeah, as it says there, DNF. So yeah, it uses DNF. I don't know if I already mentioned that, but you would have obviously seen when I installed Mindtest. It uses DNF. So this is one of those distributions that comes from the RPM branch of gnu+linux distributions. So a bunch of big popular distributions are based on Debian or Arch, and they use their Debian apt package managers and Pacman and the like. So yeah, that's a thing there. This is a pretty neat looking software thing. It kind of reminds me of something like Synaptic. There'd be something to install here that would work well. What is this about Wi-Fi? Oh yes, that was the Wayland thing. Yeah, speaking of Wayland, was this using Wayland? No. Let's see, there was some variable in here that was some XDG session, something like that. Some like this I've seen some people. Where's the underline? American keyboard by default. No, that wasn't it. There was some variable like this that they used in some YouTube videos. Nah, that's not it. Nah, who cares? It might be Wayland probably, because it's using like a new version of KDE. Like, there might actually be a about thing in here somewhere that probably mentioned. No, it is using X11. Okay, well, yeah, it was using actually X11 after all. Yeah, it's always good to have these sorts of graphical tools anyway. It's nice to see them here. OMV, I don't know what that means. That's the virtual machine stuff. QEMU. So yeah. Also an irrelevant tangent, XFCE in a new-ish release got a similar like page about XFCE. I use XFCE myself. So yeah, it's also nice that they got this kind of a menu thing with the about. But that's irrelevant to this operating system, I guess. There might have been some spins about this with different desktop environments or whatever. I seemingly saw something like that somewhere in the website, on OpenMandriva website. I don't know what these are, because like, why is there only one option here? Books? What? There's nothing here anyway. Wait, no, I have the subcategories. But there's only one here. Are these like repository packages, or like these are some other stuff? Like these are some other external like third-party stuff, aren't they? I have no clue what this is. Like this is, no, like this has to be some third-party stuff, because like there's this DNF Dragora thing. I have no clue what this is. Like it has some software, but like where is it coming from? Who maintains this stuff? Yeah, lots of stuff to look into. I'm really just taking a look at this for like the first time. Yeah, well, it's an interesting concept to GNOME firmware. What has GNOME got to do with firmware? Don't they just make a desktop environment? Lots of things related to Wayland here. Yeah, I don't care. Back to the control center. So yeah, apparently some of these softwares aren't even installed by default. They just get installed from here. That's weird. And this is apparently not Bubble Control. This is some other software. This might be some KDE thing, because it looks like it, but that's probably just because of the theming. No, this is some other weird thing. Oh yeah, it was using Pipewire. I saw it there. About this system, it was using Pipewire. Wasn't it? Wait, no. No, that was LLVM pipe. That was a graphic processor. I don't think it says anything about the audio system. No, it doesn't. It doesn't say anything about the audio system. I just confused that one for it. I would need to check if it has. let's see. I wonder if there was a check for like pipewire. No, of course they always do like a where is, but that doesn't mean anything because one can have both installed. Both can be not only installed at the same time, but also used in active use at the same time. It doesn't say anything, it doesn't autocomplete. But it still finds it. So let's see, those are like share pulse audio, lib pulse audio, bin pipewire, share pipewire. That could be that it's like it. That suggests to me that it's not using pulse audio. Right, it's seemingly using pipewire then, because it's just those libraries and those share resources, because like these are just resources, but bin is actually like the executable, so like it's actually using the executable, so that's seemingly using pipewire then, and this looks like something that I might have once seen on some pipewire system, possibly. Vaguely familiar looking menu, this one. Yeah, that's good. I wonder if like, let's see, DNF, how was this used again? Was there like a search all? It has to be specified the repository, but a strange thing. Type vire pulse. Yeah, it like has to search from the repository specifically. Why is it that slow? What is it doing? apt has a local package index. Like every time apt update is run on Debian, it downloads the package list, the indexes themselves onto the computer on the local system. And then anytime like the repositories are like searched or at least listed, it actually just lists. Does DNF have like a list? It does also have a list. Let's see. Yeah, okay, it might actually work on DNF as well. Let's try that. No, it does have that too. Okay, well that's good. DNF has that too. That's excellent. Right. So that's what I was talking about with Debian having that thing. I never actually used the apt search. Like I never actually used this. I don't even remember how it's used. Like on Debian based systems. Like I never even used it. I always used a list, and then I just list like that. It turns out it works the same way with DNF. I've never really used DNF. Like DNF is by far like the least used package manager that I've ever used. I've used obviously apt lots, and then I've used the super on OpenSUSE, and then I've used some of the sometimes like the Pacman on like I used Manjaro at some point on like a school computer or something like that. So like I had Manjaro there for a while, so I used Pacman there. But other than that, I've like never really used DNF other than like in these sorts of test virtual machine situations. But DNF is actually a pretty decent package manager, although it was pretty slow at some point. Now they had like that newer version, some version 5 or something I heard said somewhere, so I want to see what version of this is. 4.18, so that's not the 5 version yet. The DNF 5, if I recall correctly, was the faster version, so okay. But yeah, as it says here, that thing is there. Let's see if I could install that. Wait, it was already installed. Right. Well, that definitely confirms that it's using pipewire, because it wouldn't have that software installed if it wasn't using pipewire. And it most likely wouldn't come with this either if it was also using pulse audio. Right, so that confirms it. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, that confirms it is using pipewire, and pipewire alone. But it also has the pipewire pulse thing as well, if that counts. So yeah, right. No, what was I going about? Yes, going on about, yes, the DNF. Let's see if I could install. On one distribution I heard like DNF 5 can be installed from like, I wonder if it would be like just package DNF 5. Yes, look at this. DNF 5 let's try this one with the hyphen 5.5. Why is this so slow? This is as slow as it gets. It's abysmal. Like, it's unresponsive. Okay, well, I don't know what's with that now. DNF. Do I actually have to manually type it out? No way. It offers those options there. But then DNF5. But then when I type the hyphen, it stops autocompleting. 5.1. Do I have to keep typing? Do I have to type that manually? What a pain. 0.7. I'm gonna spell it wrong. Where was the underscore again? Also, this defaults to no. I'm accustomed to on Debian just hitting enter a bunch of times, so this is actually defaulting to no, so it doesn't install by default. One has to type in Y and then hit yes. So now let's see if DNF5 is like a separate thing. Now technically, like, that should be like DNF just for the package repositories. Wait, no way, that was different. That was super. No, I'm confused. No, I said that I don't necessarily know DNF that well. I'm not using DNF that often, so I might actually have totally been mistaken. What was it then? I'm pretty sure, like, because it did update, it did both the upgrade and upgrade, like comparing to Debian, where there's the update and upgrade, two different commands, but here it did both with this thing. So I'm assuming it also did the, was it super then? Super had ref. Yes, super had ref. So on OpenSUSE it was super ref and then super update. That was OpenSUSE. Right. So what was DNF then? Did it have its own? Did it have its own? Like, if I go here and see. Let's see. Too many options. Seemingly it doesn't have ref at the very least. But it most certainly does not have upgrade. Wait, no, it does. What's this about? I'm confused. Why did it also do it with update? Because when I run update, it also did upgrading. That's bizarre. What a strange thing. Anyway. Yeah, DNF. DNF5 is faster than the other DNF. So you might want to install that. I don't know if there's any instability issues with it anymore. I imagine there probably wouldn't be, and if there is any problem you encounter, you could just fall back on the regular DNF. Of course, you don't have to uninstall it. So you could have both of them installed at once. I imagine that works just fine. So DNF5, of course you do such things at your own risk, but I would probably recommend you use DNF5. Now what is this about? Well, yeah, sure. Let's go see. Yeah, it's just it's just this thing. Okay, fine. Yeah, there's nothing special here. System update. Look, this is like a graphical tool for. Yeah, right. It just runs the command. No, of course it's using the slower one. Actually, it was noticeably faster. Look at this. Look at how slow that is. It was actually noticeably faster. Like, it was way faster. Look at how slow this is. This is so slow. This is abysmal. This is unusable. Like, there's no way I would run a rolling release with these kinds of updates. Like, that's the bad thing about OpenSUSE Tumbleweed, where it's just so slow. Where, like, having to update a rolling release like every day or whatever, like, it's too slow. Enter to close. Way too close. Now it's compared again. DNF5. Okay. Well, I already remembered that from earlier. But anyway, it was still faster. I still saw it, and it was recorded, captured on camera. But yeah, OpenSUSE is like, that's the one thing I dislike about that Tumbleweed, because like it's just so slow. The updates take forever. Services management. Ah, interesting. Like, this is like all the systemd stuff, which by the way this distribution OpenMandriva uses systemd. It's not my preferred init system, but whatever, you know. Oh well, it's what a bunch of them use, so like you would need to go out of your way to not use systemd. Now sometimes there are distros that don't use systemd, but oh well. Guest account. How to remove that? But you need to have a graphical tool for that, I guess. Did it do anything? I clicked on it. It's kind of unresponsive. It takes forever. Do I need to click on the exact text? What if I click here? No, I have to actually click the text. No way. That's so stupid. It doesn't even highlight the text. Look at this. Like, I'm moving the mouse here. It doesn't actually highlight the text. So that leads me to believe that like I could click here on this white area that's now turning blue. But no, it doesn't work. I have to actually click the text, but it doesn't highlight. At least a web browser knows to highlight the text. That's pretty stupid. I don't like that at all. That's a stupid mistake in the user interface. Yeah, fix that. That's annoying. Like, look at it. It doesn't actually highlight the text. I have to click the text. The blue text there. Yeah, that's annoying. Because it's unclear. Like, one could spend hours trying to click on this thing and it doesn't work. Why is it not working? Why is it not working? Look at this. I'm clicking a million times and it's not working. Yeah, but I had to actually click on the text. Yeah, that's gonna piss someone off. At least I noticed it until it pissed me off. Well, it's something that one can assume because the text is different color, but still. Why is it highlighting the whole thing? What a stupid thing. Who cares? Let's move on. Firewall status. Let's enable firewall. Apparently it doesn't need to be manually allowed. Applied, I mean. These things allow. Let's reject all of them. Actually, probably ignore is better for incoming. But reject for outgoing. Is it gonna block the web browser too? Go away. No, the web browser has a permission. Yeah. Right. Passwords and keys. Could this be something that the KDE wallet keeps talking about? No, this was some Cleopatra thing. Now I've heard about this. This is the PGP management software. GPG interface. It's like a front end. Yeah, it's just there. It's a front end for gnu+PG. I've never used this. I've used the terminal GPG command. But that's, I guess, very neat, very nice that they have this. That's actually very good. That's actually a really good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. I'll give points for that. Not that I'm counting any points, but just as a figure of speech, I'll give points for using like a PGP management thing, because like that's a good thing to have. Like if you're sending email and you want to encrypt them and like there's no automatization in the client, whatever you're using for the email, then yeah, that's like that's the kind of thing that's good to have. Not all gnu+linux distros come with something like this. Now a bunch of them do have something like that, but a bunch of them might have something like that, but not all of them. Even like the ones that are like these easy to use user facing distros like new user things or whatever. Welcome. Is there any difference to this? Like, yeah, this is this thing. So don't confuse this with the control center. Yeah, this is just basically going over the fact. Why does it still talk about LibreOffice despite the fact that I'm using the slim version where LibreOffice is actually not installed by default? Yeah. Right, but there's some of this stuff here also. Actually, it still has some of that stuff. Okay, now I'm just confused. Like it's just there's a crossover between the configuration control center and this OM welcome. They both have some of the same stuff. Whatever. Anyway, I will go over these two just to show them. That's a pretty strange selection of software, but whatever. Yeah, well, I don't recommend using some of this stuff, but whatever. Okay, I guess it's there, but like, don't use proprietary software. and I don't like it when it's being shoved in the face of new users. At least the one thing that 100% Libre FSF approved distributions do well is that they don't push the proprietary software in the face of the user. Even a confused user, like not every user can be just expected to know the license of like software. Like how is the users are supposed to like know the license? Like does this talk about the license? Like if I click on Skype, like does it even mention anything? It just says installed. It doesn't talk about the license. Yeah, that's massive minus points. Absolute garbage. That's like Skype is proprietary software, right? I'm pretty sure it's proprietary software, like unless Falcon is installed. Huh. Yo, that's nice. That's neat. As far as I'm aware, Skype is proprietary software, unless it has changed recently. Skype. I'm pretty sure it's proprietary software, which means I just installed proprietary software half by accident. I'm like 99% sure this is proprietary software. Like I could see how it like no, it's definitely proprietary software. Yeah, see, massive minus points for that. Piss off. That's nonsense. I do not like that. That might actually make me hesitant to recommend this to new users. On top of like not being one of those easy to use distributions like and having what they have like Linux Mint. On top of like not being like necessarily the most user friendly distribution, it also pushes proprietary software like this. It doesn't talk about the license. Now that is a common problem in lots of gnu+linux distributions, unfortunately, despite the fact that like they mention like on the website that like they are like dedicated to the cause of like free software or whatever. Like I that wasn't the exact wording, but something like that they mentioned on the website. Nah, that's not what this looks like to me. No, that doesn't look like free software to me. That's not good. And I only clicked on it. Like I didn't even like agree to some pop-up box that said agree or disagree or do you want to install this software. Like no, I just clicked on it. Like it doesn't even open any info menu. Like if I click on it, it just show me like a menu of like this is what this software is and like this is where it's installed from and like do you want to install this on your system, and then there's like a yes and no. But no, it just installed it. Now it's just there. No, that's not good. Like one might accidentally click there. That's not good. That's very bad. I don't recommend that stuff. Very bad. Very bad indeed. OpenShot is not necessarily best, but I would probably recommend you use Shotcut instead. Shotcut. It's probably better than OpenShot, yeah. It's a pretty strange selection of software. A lot of this stuff is just pretty random, I guess. Kind of strange. Okay, handbrakes, sure. Yeah, it's a pretty weak selection. Whatever. Nothing remarkable. I don't really see like who cares about like who's gonna use these selections. Like who's gonna go here and install something from here? Nah. Like this is too nonsense. Like Unrar. That's not necessarily all that useful unless you're just dealing with people who use WinRAR. Hacking spyware. The WinRAR specifically. Unrar might not be necessary. I don't remember, was Unrar... No, was it like one of those situations with the patents? I don't remember. There was something about the Unrar that was weird. It might have been proprietary software, I don't remember anymore. There was some weird thing about it. Where Unrar was either proprietary software outright, or it was one of those patent-related issues where the RAR archive format might be patented, so the Unrar software is violating like some patent law. Who cares? Something like that was. So I would be wary of this thing. Wary of this one. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that unless necessary. I guess. But I don't remember, it might have actually also been installed by default along with some package archiver. Because like there was some archiver software, like these kinds of archival things like they also sometimes like install like Unrar by default or whatever. Maybe. Or maybe it's just a distribution thing where the distribution maintainers install it by default. I have no clue what any of this stuff is. Again, a pretty arbitrary selection, sure, whatever, but like, Supertuxkart A. It could have mind test here also. Maybe. Well, I guess that's kind of arbitrary. Because it has like these games or whatever. It's not specifically called games, it's just kids or something, but yeah, I mean, it's not that that's necessarily a game either. Who cares, let's move on. Steam, that's proprietary software. Well, that's used for proprietary software. Well, that's actually neat. I don't have any comments about some card games. I don't know what these are. That's a free Libre software at least. Well, that's a long commentary on all those things. Contribute. Yeah, here it goes over these things. It's actually strange that it shows this one first. Wait, what was it? Was it this one? Yeah, it's weird that it shows this one first, and then it only explains how it works later. I think those should be like reversed, the order. Show the repositories first, the repository information first, and then show these things. So first show this page, then show this page. Because why would someone want to go here if they don't even understand what's going on? Like, did I click on it? Did I? And then there's the delay too. So yeah, like, I mean, yeah, I guess it does go over. Yeah, there was just a delay. I did click on it. A massive delay. Why is there a delay anyway? There shouldn't be a delay, just open the window. Like, if it needs to pull something from the internet or do some other caching things, why don't you just do that in runtime? Open the window first and then pull the internet stuff. Just show a gray window if you need to have the information from the internet be pulled in order to display something. At least show a gray page. It's annoying when there's like a massive delay when I click and then I have to wait for a long ass time like this, and I don't know if it's gonna come up or not. Like, just open a window instantaneously, and if there's nothing that you can display, then just show nothing. Show a gray window. Just show a gray window, and then just have like some loading bar loading, and then when it's done, then display the contents. But yeah, it's annoying to have to wait because one doesn't even know if it's gonna launch at all. Yeah, random nitpicks, I guess, but whatever. Might as well commentate. Who cares or something? Whatever. Might as well commentate. Why not? Since I'm making a video on the topic, I might as well comment it. Now this is just KDE stuff. Yeah, I'm not gonna go over this stuff. I don't care. Like, if you've used KDE or you use KDE or whatever, then like, it's KDE stuff. Yeah, avoid this thing. This is proprietary nonsense. Stupid thing. But I do actually like the fact that they have Falcon here also. I didn't notice it earlier. Was it here earlier? Because I noticed that they had the Chromium. Or was it because like I changed the alternative thing? Was it like tied to the menu specifically? No, I don't know what that's about. Now Falcon is here. Chromium was here previously. What? That's weird. Let's see. It's pretty strange that they have both installed. Huh? Well, that's kind of interesting. Whatever, like, yeah, sure. But I would just have Falcon alone. If you're gonna have Falcon alone, I mean, if you're gonna have Falcon installed, you might as well have it as the only web browser. Why do you have two web browsers? That's weird. I'm pretty sure I did not install a second web browser, unless I would have accidentally clicked on something that installed it. But to my knowledge, I didn't do so. So, that's weird. Why do they have multiple web browsers? Just pick one. I would pick Falcon. I would prefer Falcon, but yeah, still pick one. It's strange to have multiple, I guess. Whatever, I mean, it's just increasing the ISO size at the very least, if nothing else, then that's a problem. Yeah, Falcon is Falcon. Falcon is a decent web browser. Ish. It's still a fork of Chromium, but yeah, whatever. Let's see, should I still see something about this operating system? Like, what's there to take a look at? Like, I guess like... So, Does it, let's look at something like user account control. Like, does it have like, yeah, this is the KDE stuff. It has the KDE stuff. Where did it go? What? Did it fail? That thing crashes. That's not good. Could it be because this is not an installed system, because this is a live environment? Maybe. What about users? Nah, this is users. This is the KDE thing, okay. Yeah, so it has user account control, whatever, if that's what it is called. Like these sorts of like GUI things for it. That's good, yeah. Good stuff, right. So it has like basic things like this that is good to have, like, yeah, that's what comes with KDE. So whatever KDE comes with, it has that, of course. So like it has basically like what's needed for like a decent enough like desktop operating system with all the basic things installed. It shouldn't be too difficult to deal with this. I'm not necessarily sure. I wouldn't recommend. Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend this for like the newest users. For those, I would still recommend like Linux Mint or Popo OS and such. But I guess like new users come in many different shapes and sizes, so for the more competent ones, like I guess this would be a pretty good recommendation potentially. Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll say that much. So where I have in the past recommended Mageio for like being like for a more competent new user potentially, like yeah, sure, this could be such a thing. Yeah, like I would probably put this next to the Mageio. Why not? In fact, this might actually be better than Mageio. I might actually replace the slot I have for Mageio with this one in further future recommendations. Yeah. I should take a look at the package manager some more, because like what else is there to like take a look at really? Like I've taken a look at the release cycle. I've taken a look at the. I mean, I guess that's just it then. This one doesn't have as many options as the. As the other one. Yeah. Well, I guess there isn't anything else to look at. That's what more. Yeah, sure. Welcome thing. Join nonsense. Yeah, the installation of course doesn't work. I don't have a hard drive or a virtual hard drive, most likely, connected to this virtual machine, so it doesn't actually want to proceed. But I don't need to show that in this video. Someone else can do that, or you can go find another video for that. Release notes. Let's take a look at them. Why not? Kind of a basic overview of like the system. It has. I don't actually know what the availability for software is, like how much software is in the repositories. Let's actually try see if I could do that. DNF. Does it have? Because it has the list. So list in Debian it says installed. So -- installed. Does this have something like that? Okay, I assume these are the installed ones, because if I type nonsense it probably doesn't work. Yeah. So that means that the installed is actually, yes, there it is, auto-completed. So let's just do the... What? Where was it? How does it look back like that? What? Where am I now? Right. So that came from this now. It's the USA keyboard, right? That thing. Let's just take it to the line count. How many are installed by default on the system, plus the few things that I installed. Okay. And then the package size, the repository size overall. Okay, well that's less than Debian, where Debian has like a 50,000 packages. But there could also be some differences. I've heard someone say that like Debian has the like lots of different packages are like individually packaged, like some libraries and such, where some other distributions might package more packages, like what would be other different packages on Debian. Some distributions might package them in a single package or whatever. I've heard someone say something like that, so who knows what that would then be. Oh yes, but of course something like the would the Discover software, KDE Discover, what was it called? Software. Does it have the KDE? KDE is supposed to have this software Discover Center, whatever the heck they are always called. Something like that. I guess it doesn't have it then. Let's see. DNF. I wonder if it's its own package. Let's just try to filter that. No, I guess it's not like that. So it might not have that kind of a thing. So then, is there a graphical way to install software other than some weird DNF Dragora thing? I don't know what that is about. Drake. Let's try this thing. Yes, it turns out there is still something to see in this distribution. Update notification, I don't need that. So is this like, if I search for something like, I mentioned this one earlier, the video editor. Well, I guess it might not be in the repository. No, I don't know if that's even what this software does. Mind test. Yeah, it does so mind test. Well, maybe those just aren't in the repository. Well, what would be in the repository? Let's try GNU image manipulation program. Well, what could it be called? GIMP then? What is this then? AE. I'm kind of confused. What does it have? Does it have other desktop environments? Mate? No. Maybe it's installed software that this is going through. Yeah, right, that could be it. I have no clue what this software is. I've never seen this before. Let's see. It's monitoring software, so this is something about monitoring the software. Let's see if I search for the Mindrest that I've installed. What does it do if I click on it? Installed, not installed. Update. Not installed. Packages not installed. Right, so I have to filter them. Okay, Mate. Right. So this is a filter. That's a strange interface, but okay. Right, that's a thing. Image. It defaults to that too. What an annoyance. And that's not what the name is. GIMP. I have to go click here. That's annoying. Right, so it's actually GIMP in the repository. Okay. Right, so this is a software finding software. Okay. Sure. FFmpeg. And it's installed already. That's good. Yeah, let's test it. FFmpeg. Version. Was it version or what was it? V. Oh yeah, but FFmpeg says that regardless. Oh yeah, right. One doesn't need to specify the version because it always says that. It always spits out that information whenever the command is run. Built with OpenMandriva Clang version, blah blah blah. Yeah. So it's 6.1 version of FFmpeg. Alright. Yeah, it's a pretty new version. Well, actually, let's just list the codecs. Yeah, that's a pretty good selection. It's all the basic stuff. I wonder if there's some other stuff I haven't seen here that might have been introduced in newer versions of FFmpeg. I'm not gonna go through this list in this video, that's not relevant. All of that. I guess that's enough of this video, enough ramblings and enough nonsense. Let's see, so what would I say about this distribution like from what little I've now taken a look at, like how would I like rate this distribution like or compare it to other distributions? Yeah, that's better. How would I compare it to other distributions? Text editor, Kbright. No, that's some weird nonsense. Text, Kate. No. Why are these also weird? Where do I just get? No, yeah, that's weird. Why doesn't it just open to this menu or interface? So let's see, like, if I try to like compose the thoughts, let's see. So in my personal opinion, like I like Debian, and of course I would prefer the Dev 1 version without the systemd in general, and then like that's my personal preference. But like then there's the easy to use distributions, the Mints and the Pop OS likes and such, and then like I would recommend probably, like I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head. This is not necessarily my final opinion or something like that. Like I guess Fedora has its use cases for those who want it. Like they are kind of on the cutting edge of software technologies always. They are always pushing for the newest things. That's both an advantage and a disadvantage. Let's see. OpenSUSE tumbleweed is good. So like, actually I don't know how would I put them differently, like, no, so like if I put some of these here and like I try to think about them, like where would OpenMandriva go now if I had to like put it somewhere? And then there's the arcs, but I don't, in general, would I put OpenMandriva here maybe? Maybe. Well, maybe this is not a useful way to put it, because there are use cases. It can't really be ranked, because it's not really ranked. I mean, I could try to rank for my use case, and that's kind of what I was trying to do there. But like for me personally, like the order of things that I would choose, perhaps. Maybe. Yeah, sure, that's kind of what I was trying to do there, but my use case is arbitrary. Anyone could have any use case, and that's just off the top of my head. I guess I can't really give a definite answer. You would really just need to look into it for yourself. Try to decide if, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, try to decide like what matters to you. I've gone over a bunch of these things that I believe matter. So, yeah, I guess that's about it. And a bit more too. A bunch of useless ramblings about the highlighting of the text colors. I might as well, who cares? So yeah, right, well that's probably it for this video. That's enough of this. Thanks for listening. Oh no, this is not a speech this time. Yikes. I've already gotten used to saying that because I've been making so many speeches lately. In the recent past. This time it's actually a video, not a speech. Right, so let's correct for that. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.